Okay, these are my 7 storylines for the next 3 weeks going into the playoffs. Things that I have been thinking about, and I think that a lot of people are thinking about as well. So, 7 storylines I think that you guys should be paying attention to. So let's start with number 1. Can the Brewers get the job done this year? The Milwaukee Brewers have surprised a lot of people by having, most of the season, they've had the best record in both leagues. And they've been doing it in a lot of very Breweries ways, right? They always have a closer coming out of nowhere. This year it's been Trevor McGill. In the past, it was Devin Williams. And before that, it was Josh Hader. They just keep getting closers coming out of nowhere. Now, he is hurt. He's going to come up in a minute. But I think that they have the best chance they've had in a while, and for a few reasons, okay? Recently, in the last 8 years, they've made the playoffs 7 times, winning the division 5 times. That's a lot of success. That is Astros level success. That is kind of like the Dodgers win the title all the time. And when you see your team go into the playoffs and get bounced early almost every time, they've lost 3 times in the wild card, for example, in those 7 appearances in the division series. I believe they've gone to 1 NLCS in those times. So we've not gotten to the World Series. And that's what the fans really want. They're one of 5 teams that ever won the World Series. The Seattle Mariners, the Milwaukee Brewers, San Diego Padres, the Colorado Rockies, and the Tampa Bay Rays. None of them have won it. Interestingly enough, 40% of those teams originated in Seattle. So we have the Seattle Mariners, and then the Brewers are originally the Seattle Pilots from 1970, 1971, and then they emigrated over to Milwaukee, and then they never won a World Series. So Seattle, there's something about baseball in Seattle. I don't know what it is. It's not good, though. Okay? So they are a little different, and I think their chances are made better because of these reasons. 1, this gentleman, Freddie Peralta, is a bona fide ace. The guy is filthy. He has been throwing really well. No one even talks about him, and he should be in the conversation, or at least in like the top, 5 to 7 for the Cy Young. He is their game 1 starter. He has it up here. He's one of those guys who throws 92, and they're like, oh, we're going to hit him today. He's like, no, 98. Like, he's one of those guys. Okay, he knows when to turn it on. He knows when to pull it back. Freddie Peralta is a bona fide number 1, more so than he has been in the past. Brandon Woodruff, he's back, and he is shoving, and he is good. He's 6-2. He's made 11 starts. He's healthy. He's a great number 2. Now, the one question mark is, who starts game 3? Does Jacob Mizrachi have enough innings? Are we going to go with Quinn Priester? Are we going to go with a combination of the other guys? We're going to bullpen game this because we have a strong bullpen. And also, one other question mark, if we're going to have short leashes, especially for Woodruff and for whoever throws the third game, who's going to be the bridge guys? Are we going to go full bore on Shelby Miller? Like, who else is going to get this job? Is Ashby going to be the guy we bring in? Like, that is one question. But again, that question is there for literally every team. So, like, that's not unique to them. Another thing that I think is a big positive for them is a healthy Christian Yelich. 27 homers this year. He has been more or less not had a lot of the back that has plagued him in the past. That is all very interesting. And then their team construction, a whole bunch of righty and lefties and platoon pats, and they do not strike out. They hand the bat off to the next guy, and they do that very well. It gives me shades of the Kansas City Royals 2015. Very hard to strike out, very pesky. And even the most dominant pitchers were having to work so hard to shut this team down. If you can do that in playoffs and do it effectively for first games, get going in that process, which by all accounts, they're going to get their bye too. So they're going to go to the division series at this moment, which is a really good thing for them. They probably need that. If they can do that, I think they put themselves in a very good position to actually make a long run into the playoffs, which I think everyone wants to see. Then we have storyline 2. Did we underestimate the AL? Is the AL better than we thought it would be? And does the AL have a legit chance to take home a World Series this year? The short answer for me is yes, but not because the AL has maybe overperformed. I just believe that the NL maybe underperformed based on our predictions. I think we were so high on the NL going into the season that it makes this happen. Right? Where they're just playing pretty good. It's pretty even, so therefore we underestimated them. So going into this year, we had really high hopes for the Dodgers, right? The Padres, the Phillies, and the Mets, all for the most part have kind of panned out. I mean, the Mets aren't quite as good as we thought they would be. They've faded a lot towards the end, but the talent's still there. You can see it. Like, you can see if they go on a run, they're going to be very good. Like, Manaea and Montas have really not factored in at all, right? We were hoping they'd come back. They haven't really come back. There's still time, but it's getting late here, right? So anyway, not talking about the Mets all the time, but the Phillies are just as good as we thought they'd be. The Dodgers underperformed, but San Diego's good. But we also thought San Francisco would be right there. We thought Arizona would be right there. We thought there might be 4 teams really battling out of the AL West. That hasn't really coalesced. So those two teams underperformed. We thought the Cubs would be really good, but we didn't really think the Milwaukee Brewers. So the Milwaukee Brewers have been a nice surprise, which shouldn't be because they've won, like I just mentioned, they made the playoffs 7 of the last 8 years. So I don't know why we all did that. But like St. Louis didn't really bounce back. The Reds are still not taking a step forward. They're just 500. Like a couple of these teams we thought would be in the running kind of really didn't coalesce. On the flip side, I think we've had some AL teams kind of overperform. We all thought the Red Sox would be good. That turned out. We thought the Yankees would be pretty good. That's turned out. But we didn't know the Blue Jays would be this good. I had them taking 4th. No, I had them taking last. I think they make up for the Orioles not being as good. The Astros are better than we all thought they would be. They're in first place again. Mariners are about where we thought they would be. The Guardians are a little better. The Royals are a little better. All these teams have hung around when we thought they would fade. And I think there are more teams that can make a run in the AL than we previously thought there would be. And the Tigers are better than we thought they would be. You know, we thought, first or second with the Twins. No, they're in first, and they're in first pretty handily. And they have a very good front of the rotation that can go on a run here. I have this feeling in my chest. It's going to be the Tigers get to the World Series this year, or the Red Sox, or the Blue Jays. Like one of those teams is going to make this run. I feel like it's like the Phillies on the other side. I don't know why. It just feels like one of those years where a wild card team, both sides are going to meet. Do I think we underestimated the American League a little bit? Yes. I think this is a much more even bracket than maybe even last year was. So I'm excited about that. Let's talk a little bit about the AL wild card because there's 1,000 teams in there for it. Now, we have the playoff structure, 12 teams. This is what happens. When we get to the end of the year, there's a bunch of teams that are like 70 and 70. They're going to be within 4 games, but it's getting tight. It's getting tight in a big way. So the Mariners cannot win on the road for some reason. Actually, I know why because they have terrible, terrible road trips in the year. But they win all their games at home. So it's kind of like evening out a little bit. They had a 5.5 game lead in that wild card. Now it's 1.5 game. I believe they only have 1 game on Texas, but they're only 1 game behind the Astros. So it's legitimately possible that both the Rangers and the Mariners hop over the Astros. And the Astros could go from being in first place to not being in the playoff very quickly. And that is what we're working with here. The Cleveland Guardians have now hopped the Royals to be right behind and within striking distance. They're going for a sweep today over the Royals. They're all playing each other. But that is one big thing about this dynamic is when all the teams play each other, no one can really push hard without sweeping, right? Like you can't make a lot of ground up if you're all playing the same teams and everyone's just kind of going 500 or just like splitting series. So there has to be some dominant baseball played, which isn't usually how baseball works, which is interesting. But the Rangers are right there too. So who do I think can squeeze in? I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that the Mariners can hop the Astros. Right now, how it's kind of shaken out, the Yankees are going to play the Red Sox in the wild card round, and the Astros and the Mariners are going to play. I would like that to be mixed up, but now how the records are, it's feeling like it's going to be that. The one thing that I think is interesting is, can the Rangers push in? And if they do push in, who they push out? Here's my bold prediction on how I think this wild card shakes out. I think the Rangers push in, and I think the Astros get pushed out. Wishful thinking? Probably. Am I being biased? Probably. But it's the internet, and you can do stuff like that. I just think it would be interesting. Let's talk about the NL West. Padres, Dodgers. Dodgers currently have a 2-game lead over the Pods, and they have won the season series. So, in my opinion, the Los Angeles Dodgers will end up winning the division, and the Padres will be the wildcard team. But I do believe both these teams make it. It would take an astronomical fall apart for both of them, but the Padres had to win 3 more games than the Dodgers, because if they tie, the Dodgers then get the higher seed, so it wouldn't really matter. But there's a couple of narratives going. So I think that's what happens. But the big things for me are, can the Dodgers stay healthy? Are we going to lose 2 relievers? Or are we going to lose 2 starters just randomly again? Is that going to happen? But if not, is this the Tyler Glass now that we're going to get in the playoffs? He's thrown 7 strong innings, 2 games in a row, 2 starts in a row, one of which was no hits. So Glass now, huge part of this. You don't want to face Blake Snell in the playoffs. Yamamoto is in the conversation for Cy Young and just threw 8 2/3 hitless also. But the big question mark is, who the hell is going to close games for these guys? Because Tanner Scott is going through it, like I mentioned earlier in the show. He cannot get those last 3 outs. So is it Shohei? Do we see if we can get Shohei to get the last 3 outs of a game in the playoffs? Do we just lose our DH and pinch hit for the rest of the game? What do we do? That's going to be an interesting trade-off, because the Shohei Ohtani rule does not apply when he comes out of the bullpen, only when he starts. You have to say he's a 2-way player before he goes out. So there's not going to be a new rule implemented. I mean, I won't put it past him, but there won't be. Is that what they do? I don't know if Trinan and Scott are enough. We'll have to see. A lot of injuries out there. And then on San Diego's side, Michael King coming back is huge for them, but what can he provide down the stretch? Can Dylan Cease finish the last 4 starts strong because he's struggling? He's got a 4.7 on the year, a 4.4 in the last 7 starts. Dylan Cease is going to have to be a big part of this moving forward. And Yu Darvish, what are we going to get out of our starting pitching? I love their lineup. I love their bullpen, but they need to have the lead. And the starting pitching is the weakest thing for them, which was not something I anticipated. So do I think the Dodgers have a slight advantage? Yes, they will end up winning the West, most likely. But anything can happen, and it just takes those few things to tighten up. Number 5, losing Zach Wheeler for the Phillies. Do they have enough starting pitching? In my opinion, absolutely. Christopher Sanchez is now their number 1. Ranger Suarez was dialed in last night against the Mets, absolutely cutting them up, just hitting the edge of the zone all the way around. He has been finessing people to death this year. He has had one of the sneakiest great years of anybody. That's 2 great starters. Taijuan Walker has thrown really well, and their back into the bullpen is now shored up with Duran and Kerkering cleaning things up. So I feel good about this team. Aaron Nola, also very strong outing 2 days ago. He's looking more in shape after really struggling coming off the IL. His command looked really, really good, and that's what you need. That guy will not be fazed by anything. So do I think the Philadelphia Phillies have enough pitching? Yes, I do think they do have enough pitching, and they got guys who've done it before. I think these guys are still one of the best put together teams, even without Zach Wheeler. Assuming the Yankees make the playoffs, can Aaron Judge do more in October than he has recently? This is not looking good for him. Unfortunately, historically, hits worse in years he wins the MVP, and this year he is on track to win another one. Here's his statistics for career in the playoffs in 22 and 24 when he won the MVP in those years. 23 games, 100 plate appearances. He has 14 hits, 5 home runs. He's hitting 165 with a 649 OPS. So can he do more this year in the playoffs? Unfortunately, if their lineup is constructed similarly that has been constructed in the past, he's still easily pitched around, and they will probably do that to him again, unfortunately. Unless he runs into guys making mistakes to him, it's looking to be the same environment that he's been in the past, and if you can avoid Aaron Judge killing you, you have a better chance of beating the Yankees. So I don't see anything being glaringly different, but at the end of the day, it's up to him to prove me wrong, and to be honest, I don't mind if he does. And in our 7th storyline, getting ready for the playoffs, are the Cubs the real deal, and can Pete Crow Armstrong get it going a little bit more? They've had a couple blows recently. Kyle Tucker recently went on the 10-day IL for that calf that's been bugging him. Now, 10 days isn't the rest of the season, so there's still a chance. 10 days usually is a good amount of time to get over calf, so I'm confident that he will be back, but will he get enough ABs to be sharp? Because he is the middle of that lineup. They need Kyle Tucker to be raking, though they still have a good offense. Seiya Suzuki's still hitting the ball well. Matt Shaw has come on big time in the second half here. Here's some statistics differences for him. Pre-All-Star break, Matt Shaw, the third baseman, 63 games. He had 41 hits. He hit 198 with a 556 OPS and 2 home runs. Post All-Star break, in 48 games, he has 9 home runs. He's hitting 270 with an 875 OPS. So some major changes. That guy has changed his batting stance like crazy. Go look that up. It's pretty fun. Matt Shaw's been a big deal, but can Kyle Tucker do it? And Pete Crow Armstrong, can he turn on the bat a little bit? Pre-All-Star break, 265 with an 847 OPS. Post All-Star break, 223 with a 645 OPS. Strikeout numbers are pretty much the same. Chase numbers the same. Walks the same. Everything's the same. He's just not getting the quality of contact he got before. This could be the league figuring him out. He had 25 home runs before the All-Star break. He's only hit 3 after. So him getting hot, not super necessary, but if he does, this is going to be one scary team to face. And the defense has stayed there. So all things considered, doesn't get a hit. He's still going to run everything down in center and make it easy. So are the Cubs the real deal? I think they got their starting 3 figured out with Shota, Matt Boyd, and Cade Horton has been great this year. Those are the big 3 they're going to pitch in their 3 games. That was not something we anticipated them having at the All-Star break even. I feel like they're pretty solid there right now. Who's going to close games? Don't really know. There's a lot of question marks there, but their offense needs to carry them. So those are our 7 storylines that I'm paying attention to and things that I think need to happen for these teams to go where they want to go, the promised land, the World Series. Let me know what you think. Let me know what other stories we should cover in the future because we still have 3 weeks left in the season, and that's it.